to introduce the financial note. You got it? Okay, I'm going to leave now.
All right. Hello, everybody. Today is Tuesday, July the 18th, 2023. And guess what? Today is the first financial note for Startup Grind Nashville. And my name is Sade Curry. I am your financial ambassador. And today I have Fame OC. Now, Fame OC is a respected expert in his industry, and he does business funding. And we're going to turn it over to Fame and speak a little bit with him to see what all he does, how can he help the entrepreneur, and what's his passion and why he started. Fame, I want to thank you for coming on, okay? I want to thank you for being here today, and I'm going to turn it over to you. I got a question for you. Fame, what is the name of your business?
Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity. This is a very great privilege, and I do not take it lightly. I want to thank you, and thanks to everyone else on your team who has worked to make this event possible and make it possible for me to be here. I'm truly, truly very, very grateful on a lot of stuff that we're going to be with folks, and it's going to be amazing. So, my name
Awesome.
is Faye Ossie. I am a business funding consultant or business funding expert, and I'm based in Dallas, Texas. And the name of my company is PENUELCapital.
Awesome. PENUELCapital. Okay, OC, let me ask you. You said that you're from Dallas, Texas, and the name of your company is PENUELCapital, right? So
Yes,
who
ma'am.
do you cater to in PENUELCapital? Who do you cater to? Who's your client?
My client are small businesses across the length and breadth of our great nation, the United States, all
Hmm.
50 states. You are a small business and you have revenue less than $15 million. Yeah, you're gonna be we're gonna be good partners. So I can help you take your business to the next level when it comes to getting the funding you need to make things happen. Nothing actually happens until when you have the funding. No matter how big your dream is, you could be restricted. No matter what business plan you have, your growth could be stunted until you have the funding you need. And what I do, or what we do at Pinot Capital, is we remove the overwhelm, the confusion, and the frustration that comes with the process of business funding. And it is not your fault that this process is overwhelming. It has been for so many people. And I tell you what, even if you are in the financial industry, it's still going to be a kind of overwhelming to you, even though you're an
Yes,
insider in the industry. And so my mission and my passion is to remove that overwhelm, to remove that frustration, to remove that confusion, so you can have a definite, clear path that is guaranteed for success of you getting the funding you need and live your business dream even this year.
absolutely. I love it. I love it. I love it. You went into so much detail about how you're able to ease the pressure of business funding. Since you're the expert, I know that you have the answers. I know a lot of your clients probably have kind of something built around. They don't understand the process of funding. And I know that's where you would come in and explain to them how the process goes and how you can be at ease, give them a peace of mind while they're trying to you know get get funded for their business. Let me ask you a question. So, since you have people that are being funded through your company, does it matter if they have business credit, or are you able to fund them from their personal credit?
Well, we are talking about business funding, and I know this is a subject that a lot of folks it throws them off. So that's
Mm-hmm.
completely understandable, and that's why I have people like me. Why this is niche to help you out in that process and make the process to be smooth and as simple as possible for you so you can sleep better at night. And so the subject of business credits, or the other word for it is corporate credit portfolio, is all
Mm-hmm.
part of what we do at Pinot Capital. And so I cracked the code for business funding when I was in graduate business school. And the reason
Oh.
for that was business funding is very personal to me. So if you're a business owner, you might have been going through some kind of um, challenging time trying to live your dream, trying to make your dream happen because you don't have the financial resources. And now you are knocking on different banks and different lenders and asking them if they might even consider you for what you are needing to live your dream. So I was in that kind of position so many years ago for several years in my life. Um, I grew up very poor. I was born into abject poverty. It was, I've heard a lot of people say that they are poor, but my own poverty it was at another level. And it was in a situation where I don't even see a future for myself. And I was very scared of my future. And that led me on a series of journey of adventure of figuring out what I need to do to get out of poverty to create financial stability, financial freedom, and all those good stuff for me. And eventually, I ended up in graduate business school, not because I wanted to get an extra letters behind my name. I know that's really great, or to have an extra hardware to hand behind my walls. Those are great intentions, but I was in there because I was on a mission. I wanted to find out for myself what is it about financing? What is it about funding? What is it about money that I don't have it? I don't know anything about it. And I'm suffering so much. I want to get out of this. So that's how I got into business funding. And when I was in graduate school, I unraveled the process, the system that makes it work for just anybody. So I know your question was about business credit. For me, I say
Mhm.
potential client, it doesn't really matter if they have it or they don't have it. I would say 9 out of 10 of clients that we work with at my company, they have nothing. Like they are even as confused as ever at the point we met. And that is the job of the consultant. That is the job of the expert. So we come in and we guide them through that process. So we can take them from wherever the people who have like 400 personal credit score, that's very low. Like if you have score
Yes.
that low, that's really, really low. So like that's like taking people from the bottom. It's going to take a little bit of time to walk them through the process. And with time, we get to where we need to go and we get them that funding. So to answer your question, business credit is great, but what if you don't know about it? Or what if you don't know the process or how to do it? You need to have some kind of information to even know what to do with business credit. And so when we get a client, it doesn't matter what situation they're on. If they want to move forward, we're going to find a path forward with them.
Hmm. Terrific. That's terrific. That was such a detailed explanation. So basically, you're saying you're able to meet people where they're at in business, whether they have the qualifications or not. You're able to assist them. You've cracked the code on what it is that helps a business to be funded, right? You
Yes.
help them build their portfolio,
Yep.
and then you give them information and, walk them through the processes of being funded. And it doesn't matter if they have a 400 credit score or 850. You're able to help them in either situation, right?
It's a spectrum. Okay. So, and within spectrum, different people start at different points, depending on the kind of previous help and previous background they had. There are people who had no help, who had no. So maybe when they come, they are probably at 400 personal credit score. Then at that point, what we have to do is what can we boost the score? Because this score, we can just go nowhere. There is no lender who want to talk to us. So let's start from making this. What can we do? What are the things we do? So we do a strategy session to figure out what we need to do to get the score up. And just like I said, it's a spectrum. So as the individual continue the journey along the spectrum, there will be a time when they are no longer at that level of 400 personal credit score. They might have moved up to 650 or may even have moved up to 700. And some other things are beginning to align in their life. And then at that point, we can do which lender we're going to talk to that will listen to their situation and want to help them. So long as they have a valid business and they are hardworking and they are showing evidence that this is a living business.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you have a lot of clients that are still in the transition from, working their 9 to 5 or their 6 to 6, and they're still, operating a business, right? So you have a lot of people that come in that are still working and, full-time business owners, and their chances of being, walked through the process and approved is pretty good too. Do your lenders look at like what they are making on a personal level, like, with their job, their income, or are they just looking at the spectrum of, what the business is making?
Well, it depends on where the business is. There are new businesses and there are established businesses. I would consider a business done for 2 years or more to be established business. And so the individual income of the owner of the business is a piece of the pie, but it's a little piece of the pie. So even
Mm-hmm.
if you have the highest credit score, the highest personal credit score, and you are a high net worth individual. That's kind of the term we use for it. Like you earn like big 6 figures. Okay, there is a limit to how much money you can get with your high income as well as your personal credit score, because that falls under personal funding, which is personal lending. So for business funding to happen, we have to do more like a holistic review of the entire portfolio. We have to look at the corporate entity structure of the business. Some people don't have it. Most people don't
Mm-hmm.
have all their pieces together at the time when they come to us. Then we have to look at do they have anything on business credit or the corporate credit? And we also have to look at the corporate finance structure of the organization. And then we look at what is the business plan that they are operating on? Is it something they downloaded out of Google or search engine, or is that something somebody wrote for them 5 years ago? And so, so we look at all of that, and then we look at what's going on in their personal financial life in terms of their personal credit and their other financial obligations. Because at the end of the day, the business is owned by an individual, and banks don't know you, lenders don't personally know you, they don't go to lunch and dinner with you, they don't show up at your family meetings, so they don't know personal your behavior, they don't even know if you're going to pay them back what they're going to give you or not. So the only yardstick for them to measure and see if this borrower is going to be a responsible borrower is to look at the personal history, the personal credit history of the borrower or the client or the individual, and see what's going on in there. And so to answer your question in a nutshell, it's more like a holistic review. But what I'm trying to also emphasize is even if the individual doesn't have all the pieces together at the point where we met, we can map out a plan for the individual to follow, so the individual knows these are things that have to be in place, these are things that have to align for us to get that funding. And in most situations, it might be that the individual is in a dire need of funding, like they need money like today, tomorrow, to solve an emergency or an immediate need. So in that kind of situation, we also kind of troubleshoot to see, is there anything we could do on a personal level? Because if the business is not ready to get funding as a business, maybe the individual might be ready to get funding as an individual. And that's where like the personal credit comes in, and the your AGI, your annual gross income, your pay stub, and all of that comes in. And so in our holistic review, the way we work at our company, PENUELCapital, we kind of do whatever we can to see how we can help this individual, even if it's temporary, to get off this challenge, financial challenge that they are facing while we are working through of getting them up there to qualify for more funding for their business.
Awesome. That's awesome. So you really have, so instead of people just walking into your office, and you're not able to help them at the funding level, you have a more holistic approach to where you're able to walk them through a process, right? So you just don't turn them away. You're pretty much able to help. Like I said, anybody that comes to you, you have, a plan. You can strategize with them on a discovery call, or whether they come in and you're able to tell them everything that they need, and you're able to walk them from the point of a lower bracket of credit up till they're fundable, or um, even in a situation where they are able to get large amounts of funding. Can you tell me a little bit about like the funding? Like, do you have? I know you have a great. I know you have a great relationship with the banks or the private lenders. On from your experience, when you have your clients, are they getting more funding at the level of private lenders or the banks?
It's kind of that's a really good question you ask. And so it's kind of 50-50. Basically, we look at a portfolio. One thing I've realized in business funding is I've never seen a one size fits all. Like different individuals have different situations going on in their personal life and their personal finance. At the same time, different individuals also have different things and different scenarios going on in their businesses. And that's the reason why we have a network of multiple lenders, that we can look at the portfolio of the client and their business and kind of go back into our database of lenders and see who will be a good fit that can listen to us for this situation, who can help out. Like the lending business is different lenders have different levels of risk that they can take. It's a
Mm-hmm.
risk is a risky industry, and giving money to a small business is very risky, because of all the unknowns in it.
Mm-hmm.
So different leaders can assess their risk and decide what they want to do or how far they want to go. And that's also what we take into consideration. So if a bank will be lenient enough to listen to us, to the story behind the numbers, it's not just typing in some application and dropping it off. There is a story, there is a life behind those applications, those paperwork. And so we look at the portfolio of the individual, of the clients, and we'll match it with a lender who can align with what's going on in that portfolio. And that help us to get a lot more results, especially with people different scenario. So banks and alternative lenders, it doesn't really matter. When you are looking for money, you have a problem and you're trying the most you can to solve the problem that you have. So at that point, it doesn't matter to you if you got your money from Bank of America, the money for Wells Fargo. What about is I need X amount of dollars for my business, for the machine that broke down, or for my refrigerator in my restaurant that is not working. I need this money to fix it. So can give me this money at the low best rates, I'm gonna go with the person. And I think that's what I've seen with all the clients that we have worked with. When it comes to like the money, they are like, get us to the person who is gonna give us the best rates and give us the amount that we want.
Awesome. Awesome. Good. That's good. I got another question for you. so so with the businesses that come in, I got a lot of questions. So for the businesses that come in and they're
Let's
wanting to
do
be funded, the businesses that want to be funded, okay, they get funded by the banks or the lenders, whoever underwrites and funds them. Are they, if they pay, do they have to pay it all off and then apply for more funding, or is it a numbers game? Can they pay off a percentage and then go back and, kind of like a line of credit and get more? Because that's kind of like it's a I don't know the word that I'm looking for, but it's kind of like a stigma built around funding. You know what I mean? Like being funded once and you can't be funded again. Can you be funded again after you've been funded once through your company?
Okay, so that's another good question. There is reason why we have series of funding. Okay, in corporate finance we have like series uh, series A, B, C, D of funding. So these are like different levels of funding. So for small
Wow.
businesses that are not as big as this um, corporations that are going for Series A or Series B or Series D, as a small business, you can go for different rounds of funding. Maybe you're just starting and what you need is micro funding, something in the tune of $50,000 or less. Kind of where you are at this time. I tell you, if you keep on with your business and keep on making progress, in 2 years or even a year, your business may have grown so much and the potential is there for you to make more money and for you to serve more people. So what do you do? Are you going to wait until you save all the money and now grow your company? That's not an effective way to do it. And so we do business with funding. Okay. I know a lot of folks don't kind of understand that business funding is different from personal funding. Now, you are not borrowing money to go buy a car. You are not borrowing money to go do some personal stuff. You are getting money and putting it in business to grow your business so you can sell more products that help people or offer more service that change the lives of people in the society. And so I want people to have a different mindset when it comes to business funding. That's completely different. Getting into debt with maybe borrowing extra money or extra luxury, that's entirely a different scenario. So you can go for different levels of fund. You get what you need and what you get approved for, and you start with that. And then the banks or the lender, whoever gave you the money, you're going to have a schedule of your payments. And what I've seen too with a lot of lenders is as you are making payments towards whatever you borrowed, they will reach out to you from time to time to know what's going on, to know if you need additional help. And so long as your business is making progress and you are making payment, in fact, that lender who gave you that first money will even be much more open to give you much more money because the lender doesn't make any money lend the money to anybody. They have to find somebody to lend the money to. And the problem is not that the lenders do not want to lend the money. They have the money ready. You see, in business funding, the money is there. The problem is not the money. The problem is that the business is not ready, is not in a good shape, has not been prepared to get it. And so then they're ready to give more. And if they give you the first one and you do all the things in the paper, they are much more willing when you come back to give you more or even ask you if you need more as time goes on.
Awesome. So what I've collected is the more money that you get on the business aspect, the more they want to give you. Correct? If you're making your payments, they're in business because they're selling money. And we know the number one rule in business is OPM. Other people's money, right? I mean, this is how corporate America survived. They pay payroll with other people's money. They
Yeah,
scale and open different aspects of their business with other people's money. They're not reaching back into the honey pot, and we call that the profit pot. They're not reaching back into the profit and pouring back into their business. They're getting funded and pouring back into their business.
yeah,
And they're, working their system like they're supposed to,
yeah.
and they're expanding. So I got another question.
Okay.
What do you say, at what level of business should a person be looking to be funded? What's a safe number? A year, Year two, what's a safe number that you would say that a person should be ready to start looking into business funding?
Okay, this is another great question. You have a really good lineup of wonderful questions, and appreciate this. And I hope our listeners, viewers are learning a lot from the discussion of all these questions. And so, like I said before, when it comes to business, is a spectrum. Different people are at different points on that spectrum, and you can move forward. You don't have to be on the same spot. In a year from now, you can move from level two to level five and to level seven. And so, a good time or a good time to get funded is to um, when you are ready to do what it takes to get funded at where you are. And broad answer I can give that can cover everybody because everybody's situation is different. Somebody might be starting their business, like they are just starting their business, and they don't have business card, they don't have anything, they're just starting out. So at that point, because the business is not established, the lenders they won't want to take that kind of risk. But if this individual have a collateral, a piece of equipment that worth money, maybe they inherited it or maybe they got it from a relative, um, that could be exchanged for a startup capital. And if they also have a real estate, those are the things that could be considered in exchange of getting them the money they need at that point where they are. And then if they start a business and they begin to do well, 6 months into the business, they have some history at that point. We look at their sales. At that point, 6 months into the business, a lot of lenders are looking to see like $5,000 in monthly sales. If that business is making that threshold at that point, that could open up some doors for some kind of new funding to come in. And always know that you can refinance. Okay, so when you are starting out and everything don't look great, your portfolio don't look great, of course you're not gonna get the best funding. But whatever you get at that point, as you keep on working on your portfolio and growing it and getting better and moving forward along that spectrum, you can get to the point where you have improved and you get new funding and you can refinance the whole thing that you get, whatever is left from the payment you've been making, you can refinance it with the new funding that you are getting. So I started from explaining the scenario of starting something from scratch when you don't have anything, and then 6 months down the line when you are making about $5,000 in a monthly sales, that's going to open some doors. And then 1 year, once you hit that 1 year mark, you're 1 year in business. A lot of lenders like it. Like they know it's still risky to give money to you as a small business, but for the fact you've been around and you weather the storm for a whole year, they are willing to open up some more doors for you to get more funding. And if your business crosses 2 years, that's considered established business because it takes a lot to keep going for 2 years. A lot of things would have taken you down, but did not take you down, and you kept on going. And so lenders love it so much. In fact, a lot of the lenders they love to give money to businesses that have been around for 2 years or more. But the goal is this. Okay, if you are not 2 years old, maybe you are 1 year old, keep on working on getting more sales. And I think sales has to do with marketing. There are a lot of small businesses that people don't know and people don't see. And when you don't have that visibility, people don't know the problem that you are solving in our world, even though they would have beneficiaries of the solutions that you bring. So marketing is a great piece. I know that's not part of the subject that we are talking today,
No, that's
but
fine.
that's something that can help the business to increase their sales. So if you are not at a $50,000, maybe you are $35,000, and at that point you can see what could happen for you. And when you move up to $50,000 in sales, annual gross sales, that's what I mean. Then you can begin to shoot for 75, and from 75 you can begin to shoot for $100,000. And at that mark of $100,000 in annual gross revenue, a whole much more door opens for you. So now this is the deal about business funding versus personal funding. If I work for a whole year and I get my W-2 and I've made $100,000 in a whole year, okay, my W-2, that's my gross income. That's the salary they paid me. That's my wage. Okay, if I go to the bank and ask for money, a line of credit or a personal loan, probably the max that they can approve me for is 30% of my gross earning in that year, which is $30,000. So
Mm-hmm.
my if you flip it around, if my business made $100,000 in gross annual sales in 1 year, and my business has been around for a year, and I'm going for a business line of credit, when I approach lenders, the starting point that they will start when they want to approve me will be from $100,000, and I could be approved up to $300,000. So you see that with business funding for $100,000 in gross annual revenue, you are getting up to $300,000 in business line of credit, which is big money for your company. Whereas
Mm-hmm.
personal, if you're going for personal in your name, you can only go as at most $30,000 for that level of income. I hope that helps to answer your question.
Oh yeah, yeah. I understood. I was able to follow you. It made a lot of sense. It's better to be in business. Basically. Business literally pays. The government favors business. They just do. So if you have a business to come in and you said you have to, build a portfolio for them, you have to be able to create the portfolio, the paperwork. A lot of people get things misconstrued with business funding and the grants. Does business funding, do the banks or lenders ask for a business plan? Do you have to provide a business plan for for your client?
Absolutely. That's part of the process that we walk with, and even if they don't have a business plan, we do not require that they should have a business plan at the point that we met them. But in the course of working with us, that's part of the structure that we have to put together for them. We have to put that business plan as well as a strategic plan for their business, because
Mm-hmm.
things evolve. And so when you do budgeting for a year, that's a whole year of budgeting. Then we have different circles in the year. We have the first quarter, the second quarter, the third quarter. In each circle, there are different things going on with the economic climate of the country and of the whole business environment. And that's where forecasting comes in. And that's all part of the things that we do. And so we're going to have a robust, very thorough business plan for the company, because it's very essential. Like if I tell you I'm in Dallas, Texas right now, if I'm telling you, okay, I really want to get to New York City, but I've never been to New York City before, and I don't have any map, I don't have any GPS, but I'm gonna get on my car and start driving to New York. And wish me luck. I'm gonna find myself in New York. And so it's very unlikely that I'm gonna end up in New York City.
Right.
So business plan is that is the plan. And the way we do it very, very thorough. And we sit down with the owner of the business and find out what are the ideas and where do they want to go. And we put all these pieces together, and we also employ our expert knowledge to make it very rich and very, very robust, and also implementable. It has to be something that the owner of the business is very in tune with and very passionate about, and something that they can implement, and something that we know that with this, we see the projection of the business, we see where the business is going, that in 6 months from now, we're going to have some positive changes on that business based on that plan in a year from now, that business is going to change completely positively in a direction that it was not before a year before.
Awesome. 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 So I'm narrowing down my questions now. Um, do you have different funding? Do you have different funding spectrums? Like, you could do it on the personal side. Then I heard that you said something about when the business begins to create income. That's like a cash advance, like a business cash advance against like what the business is actually bringing in. Do you have funding spectrum such as like invoice factoring? Where businesses are even at a revenue of 20,000, 40,000. I guess this will probably be where, they're at the higher level of where they can be funded. Do you have different spectrums of your funding in different programs to meet people where they are? I've
Yeah,
kind of asked you that question already, but I wanted you to kind of explain a little bit about your funding programs, if you can.
yeah. So we have different categories of funding, just like we have discussed before. The business funding is not a one size fit all, and different people are at different stages in their business, and different things and different scenarios happening in their lives as well as their businesses. And so it starts with meeting with the individual and doing a consultation and doing an analysis of where they are, what is going on at where they are, and how can they be helped at where they are. We are not saying that we are going to help everybody or we're going to solve all the problem in the world. That will be impossible. And I wouldn't sit here and promise that. But what I know that we do and we do very well is that we serve from a standpoint of empathy and compassion and people who has been through the process. I've been through like trying to get something going and I don't have the resources for it. So when a client comes to us and we meet, we know that this is really important to them. That even if they don't qualify, maybe they are looking for $200,000. But even if they don't qualify for $200,000 today, but that's their goal, then what is the roadmap that they can be on to get to that? If not in 3 months, in 6 months, if not in 6 months, in 9 months, if not in 9 months, then in a year. And what can we do temporary at the moment to help them solve the immediate problem, financial problem that they are facing at their business? So if there's anything that we could do at that point to solve the problem or to give a temporary relief to the financial challenges that they are facing, we are just going to go ahead and do it, as well as help them continue on that plan to get better and now get the bigger funding. So to kind of answer your question directly, yeah, we have different packages for different people, and with that, we're able to reach out and serve a lot more people.
Awesome. That's good. You really have a passion and heart for what it is that you do. I can tell that you are definitely results driven, but I also can tell that you don't have a problem with, going the extra mile to help your clients if at all possible. And even if you're not able to, you're able to map out a plan and a process for them, like you said. I can really see that. I want to commend you on being in business and doing all that you do, having the knowledge that you have. I appreciate you for that. You broke things down so easily that it made so much sense, and anybody could understand what it was and what your mission is in your business. Anybody can check back on this replay and they can see what it is that Fame OC does best, and that's fund small businesses. Now, Fame, let's talk about this name. I love this name, Fame. That is your name, right? Fame.
Yes,
Love it. I love it. I love it. I
I'm not
love it. It's
famous
awesome.
yet. I'm not famous yet, but let's see what happens in the future.
You will be. You're already famous. You listen. That name is attached to your destiny. Do you hear me? The name is attached to your destiny. I mean, you're a very educated man, very educated. And like I said, like it's just what you see is what you get. You're very educated, and then you also have, uh, I'm not gonna say a perfectionist. I'm kind of like a perfectionist, but you're just, like you're right. You're intact. Everything is intact, and I love it. I love it. Um, so if I hold on a second, I am trying my best not to leave. Hold on.
Hello, hello, hello. Let me come on in. Sade dropped off for a moment. So, Fame, I want to ask you, Erica. Hello, everyone. I'm Erica Kessie. I'm a love force with mysterious wisdom, celebrating life. I'm the director of Startup Grind. We had our first financial note that came through today. I'm so happy. It was amazing. Fame, you are amazing. I can feel your heart. I could feel it was so good. And so I want to ask you this. As someone who is I have an organ. This is my community where it's people who have startups and entrepreneurs, okay, they have some trepidation about coming to you. What would I put in a program to get them ready to spend time with you and to actually take the plunge to come over to you and to get this funding that they need?
That's really a nice question. I like it. It's still, I would say that what is the essence of business and what is the essence of running a company if not to help and see how you can help? And for me and my company, we have a history and we got into this because of the journey. And the
Mm.
journey was not easy. The journey was hard and it was very frustrating. And when you've gone through a journey and you've learned your lessons, and now finally you made some progress, well, I think it's a good thing to share that progress with other people because there are probably some other people who are on that journey going through some of the things that you went through. So that's our story. I've been there at that spot where you have a great goal, you are hardworking, you are a good person, but you don't have the resources that you need. And so we bring empathy to what we do. And that's something that cannot be quantified with money. I mean, there is no money measurement of empathy. And with that, we're able to help people that might be turned down or turned away elsewhere. I want to kind of wrap up this question with a story. We had a gentleman come to us very recently. This is happening like in the last 2 weeks or so. And he wanted to purchase a franchise. And he already had somebody lined up who wanted to sell this franchise. They have a good relationship. But his portfolio was not in good shape. Like, in fact, he doesn't have any portfolio at all. So, like all the things we have to pick on to convince the lender to move forward with us, we're just not there. His personal credit score were just down. He doesn't have any collateral. Um, we just like if he walks through the front door, they're gonna say no virtually everywhere he goes. And he's been knocking on doors and he's been hearing no and no and no. But we were able to work things out and we went round and we talked to a couple of lenders. And finally, we were able to find a lender who was just willing to listen and hear the story and see the potential of this business behind just the numbers. The numbers look bad for now, But that's why we have people like us in the business. We are going to help these clients. That number is dynamic in the sense that it's not going to remain the same in 3 months from now. It's not going to remain the same in 6 months from now. So we're going to clean up the clients, get the clients where they need to be, but we were able to, just using this unconventional way of working by employing empathy into what we do, actually find a lender for this person. So the good news is this person who would never have qualified walking through the front door is now able to get a lender and will now purchase that franchise business.
Oh, that is awesome.
Okay, that was absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Fame. So I wrote down because I'm about to build something with a pipeline to go to you, okay? And
Mhm.
it first, they must have some self empathy. They must not beat up on themselves about their journey. So, some self empathy. They need to have a zeal to help others. So, with that help, it's like you have the water in the desert that you need to be sharing with other people, but you need a cup and you got the water. Fame got the cup. You got to go over there and get the cup to be able to have people in the desert to drink. And then lastly, they need to go ahead and write out their story so they can be prepared when they come to you, and you can help tell the story in association with the numbers that tell the story, as well as you knowing personal things that has happened that has caused these things to occur in their financial history. Correct?
You kind of, I like the way you kind of explained it and you add to it. It's so,
No, I'm
yeah.
trying to build a whole program. You don't even understand. I'm trying to get you a pipeline. You don't. People are hungry. Sade, you know this, right? They're hungry to
Absolutely.
get. They're hungry to get funding. They're afraid. There's fear because of past conditions, like you told your story. Some people are not like you. Were very motivated to figure out. Some people have the conditions, and then they just say, "I can't. It's not for me." Or they'll let circumstances like black businesses don't get funded, or circumstances that tell us that we can't do it, what we can't do, right? But that's not so. So let's do what we need to do. Like I'm talking about the inside work in order to say, hey, now I'm ready. I feel confident enough to go over here and work with Fame. And then when they come to you, they're going to get that empathy. They're going to get that integrity. They're going to get that hand holding. They're going to feel good and safe. And they're going to know that they made the right decision. Yes. You know,
Yes.
you see, I'm a cheerleader for you. I listen. And when I go do my business funding with him, I'm gonna let everybody know too. Y'all, we are way past time. Thank you so much, Fame, for coming. Thank you, Sade. You knocked that out the park. My financial ambassador.
Thank
Yes,
you
you did.
kindly.
Yes, you did. Ow, I'm so proud.
Not too
And
bad for the first time.
yeah, honey, you ready. You ready, ready, ready. And
Thank
Fame,
you.
thank you so much, honey. Got his whole production together over there. You'll get
Can
this
he put his
video so you can
information in the
share it.
chat? How they can find him before
Oh
we get out
yes,
of here?
please. We're gonna make sure people know. Actually, yes, I think he already no. Put the your email or however they should reach you. Fame your scheduling link or whatever.
Okay. So everybody, I'm gonna put it in the chat, but the link is businessfundingsimplified.com. Business funding.
Businessfundingsimplified.com.
That,
That's simple enough, right?
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
I got
When
it.
you get
I put it in there for you.
okay. So
Yes.
when
Awesome.
yeah, when you get on there,
Absolutely amazing. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Everybody who watches this later, replay, this will be put out for people. I'm working with a whole group of people right now who need to hear and see this. So, man, it was so great. Thank you so much, Fame. You all, I'm going to stop recording now.